Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another live session. Today's May 22nd, 2020. There are some issues with the stream, but I think it's okay now. I just reconnected and disconnected. The live link should come up and I'll just send it in right away. We'll send new link. So just give me a second while YouTube gets that link up for us, and then we'll be good to go. You know, out of the 5 days of the week, OBS likes to choose one day to mess with me, and I guess it was today. But we should be good. We're actually live back. Yes, likes to choose one day to mess with me, and I guess it was today. Get back. But we should be good. We're actually live back. Yes. Alright, cool. Now let me send this to you guys. My apologies. I try to make sure this stuff doesn't happen, but sometimes out of my control. Anyways, before we lose sight of the session, let's get to it. So, before we start, again, we're gonna go over the session's gonna be mainly going over the trades we took, and then next week's analysis. But first things first, some admin stuff as always. So if you're not on our Discord, you really need to be there. That's where all the magic happens. Analysis is shared, community members chat to each other, and announcements are made on behalf of our team, so you can always stay up to date. So the link to join is it's free to join. It's actually in the description of this video. Click the sign up link and you can join and be a member and be a part of the community. We have a lot of willing helpers that will help you for free, so it's just a nice place to be. Now going over the announcements of, there's three. I'm going to go over them really quickly. So one is the Smart Effects Man program. Now this is the program that we are really excited about. It's manually traded, unlike our past programs, and it's very, very low risk. The drawdown is at a max of I think 5%, and you're looking at 6 to 10% gains per month. We have the MyFX book on our announcements. You can see the data here, and just the overall risk is very low. And the results this year kind of skewed because it considers half of May, but in the previous month they gained around 7.8%. around there, so that's really solid. And the minimum is only 3K, so if you're still iffy, you can try it with 3K, see how it goes, and if you are confident in the strategy, you can always invest more. If you want to get started, email support@forexlens.com. The next thing is our traders challenge. We already have members going at it. So basically what you do is you grow a demo account one time and you get a free lifetime membership for all of our live sessions and signals. You grow it a second time, a separate account, you grow it a second time, you will get a live funded 25K account from us, and that is going to be a legit account you can trade and withdraw from. So the details are there. The only requirement is that you have to be a member. So if you're not a member, do sign up, and then you can either win a lifetime membership or actually win a $25,000 real account to trade. Now the last thing is the Institute Traders Signal Service. Now it is starting officially on June 1st. We have an early bird special for members, which you guys know about. If you're a member, you can get it for $18 a month, or the yearly for $118 only. If you're new to Forex Lens, it will be $60, the early bird special, $60 per month, or $598 for the year. So definitely take advantage. This is the same guy that's trading Smart Effects, and it's all based on institutional concepts and trading order blocks, etc. So it's a different strategy than retail trading. But it works. I've seen it firsthand. So that's pretty much all the major announcements out of the way. While I go through this, please feel free to send in your requests and questions, and we can, I'll get through them as I go along with the session. Just checking the stream. It looks good now. So looks like there was some momentum thing, but we're good now. So this week, similar to our past few weeks, has been more of a quality over quantity type of situation. If we look at the RP Forex signal channel, you'll see all the trades called this week, right? So we started the week off with these two trades, right? And these two both hit their take profit ones. And then we had NZD USD and NZD Yen yesterday, as well as USD CAD. And all these trades have hit their TP1 or went very deep in profit. So the 5 signals we called all either hit take profit or went further than take profit. So practically all W's. And it was a great week. And so we're just going to go over the trades really quickly. So USD CAD, we had an initial long earlier in the week from down here. And so what we did was we went long after this 4-hour candle, and we got around our first take profit, right? We got a first take profit here, and then our partial position got stopped out. But in yesterday's session, I told members that due to this recent price action and the USD getting some beneficial news, if you look at the flash manufacturing yesterday, it came out better than expected. We saw this huge 4-hour bullish hammer, and I told the members that if we do close above this 1.39600 level, we are going to go long to the upside. Let me remove this, and that's what happened, right? So this candle, we came up here, and then the next few candles we printed 2 bearish hammers. We love trading hammers, and that tells us a lot of buyers are there. 2 bearish hammers, and then this 4-hour candle came. But I told members I'll be looking at the 1 hour to kind of gauge we enter, and we entered. And if you just look at the entry, we got 1.39775, and then you look at how far it went, 1.40477, around 70 possible pips. I actually got it at 50, and that's fantastic, right? So very easy little drawdown trade. I do think it will make its way up to this target and target. But today's Friday. I like to secure my profits by the afternoon time. And I don't really trade Sunday, so we'll reevaluate USD CAD on Monday. But a simple trade setup, we were just patient about, and it finally played in our favor. Now, another trade we took was NZD dollar, which I just closed out of now. It's a short, and let me actually try to pull up the analysis. For some reason, TradingView doesn't like to save some of my charts. I'll just go over the entry, and so a very similar setup to USD CAD. We're just waiting for that 4-hour closure, which is basically what our strategy is predicated on. And so we got this nice 4-hour inverted hammer. You can see the total profits we've made, 0.6177 as an entry, and it went as far as 0.60815, so around 37 pips. But officially it hit our first take profit for a gain of 26 pips, so that's fantastic. And then NZD yen, which is a trade actually called off my phone. I wasn't in front of the charts. I just knew that this was a good short, and it will play out perfectly going into next week. But it is a Friday, so we have to be careful. But NZD yen again, that 4-hour, if you head to the 4-hour time frame, you'll see that candle that pretty much sealed the deal, and it was this one right here. This inverted hammer was the thing I wanted to see, and we were making it last night during London. And then this candle was also an inverted hammer, and so we're well on our way going to the downside. Again, our entry was at 65.779. First TP was 25 pips away. We got that, and we actually got a bit extra on top of that. We went as far as 65.388. So in total, we had around a 48 pip move, but officially 35 pips grabbed. And you can see by the price action, there's more downfall to come. We'll just have to resume on Sunday / Monday. And again, I don't trade Sunday, so I'll be looking for entries Monday. We can see the range we have entered. And we were patient with this pair because at the start of the week, we wanted to short from here, from right here, but we never got the price action we wanted, so I never called the signal. So I waited for it to go up to here and then call that short. And I was looking like we're going to satisfy this range between from this top level all the way to the bottom. You can kind of see it. And we've been honoring this range for the past quarter and a half. And so that's why we are targeting all the way down to potentially 63.700. It's another simple setup. And just one more, which was USD yen. Right, USD yen with a nice simple short. You can even see the signal right here that I plotted while I was doing it. Now here's an entry, and we went to our TP1, 26 pips, and you can see we actually went actually further than that. We went almost all the way to TP2. We were just shy about 14 pips. So in total, this thing did go around on 44 pips, but confirmed was around 26 pips. And either way, it did go to our partial. It did go to our break-even point. And what we like to do is once we get to TP1 or 25 pips, we like to close half our profits and move stops to entry to make the risk-free trade. and that's how the week went. Even checking the games review. I usually don't like to gloat and stuff, but you can see these are trades we took that were analyzed live by me, that are called by me, and then placed on my own account. You can actually see I put a deposit, and this is because it's my intraday account, and the current markets are providing more intraday setups than swing setups. So I actually took money out of my swing account and put it in my intraday account, just because that's the setups are given right now. So with that deposit, I'll probably be able to jump up my lot size to maybe 3.0 for the intraday stuff, and it'll probably help out while the swing markets are just consolidated. So that's that for the week, and pretty good. So if you talk about this week and last week, so last week we took 6 trades, 1 was a loser, 5 were winners, and then this week 5 trades, 5 were winners. That's 10 for 11 for the past 2 weeks. That's all I care about is accuracy. I don't want to do volume-based trading just to make 30% more pips, but have the possibility of twice as many losses, or just getting into the wrong setups for the sake of trading. So that's this week, and now I'm just going to answer everyone's questions, pair recommendations, and setups for next week. Again, based on the COVID-19 and the uncertainty of when economies are going to open, or economies opening, and new cases being delivered. It's just a mess right now, so you just got to be adaptive in the markets. So hopefully you guys are all well. USD yen. So I'm gonna ask for USD yen. So USD yen next week. So now that we're done with this trade idea, I believe Scarbs asked about it as well. So let me remove this idea since we're done with it. So I'm actually bullish on the dollar, as you can tell by the steps we took. We took USD CAD long, bullish on the dollar. We took NZD USD short, bullish on the dollar. USD yen, however, hasn't really shown any upside this week, to be honest. It's been kind of still in that downtrend. If you just identify with the trend line, you see, it's still in a downtrend. It hasn't really made any major gains. For example, USD CAD has shot up like a rocket. This thing is still pretty stuck in its ways right now. Just based off what I see on the charts, despite our bullish bias for the dollar, I'm thinking bears, I'm thinking sells. You kind of see we're approaching some very significant support, just covered by this zone right here. You can see this zone. We have a lot of wicks, huge wicks, and a rebound, huge wick, a rebound, huge wick, rebound. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 responses from this one zone. And so based on that, this kind of area, this 20 pip range, is really important for USD yen. You can see the price action for this week, these past few days. We've come off this level. We printed a nice bullish hammer, and we went long. We put another bullish hammer, and price went up. And now we're printing inverted hammer or indecision candle as we kind of reject this trend line. So I'm thinking it's time to go short. But if we do come back down to this blue zone, and we do get this bullish hammer again, by all means, I'm going to take a long. It's kind of like a science here. The bullish hammer has been printed numerous times from this level. I mean, you just look at the price action very quickly. So you see this right here. This is a bullish hammer. You have price goes to the upside. This is a bullish hammer. You have a short wick to the top, long at the bottom. You have upside momentum. Here's a bullish hammer, a long wick to the top, short at the bottom, upside momentum. Again here, another bullish hammer, long wick to the bottom, short to the top, upside momentum. And you can here we didn't have that, so I'm not going to take an example. You can see it happening consecutively more times than not for most pairs. And here you even have 2 bearish hammers and upside momentum, and now we have 2 bullish hammers. We did have some upside momentum, which kind of got shot down. So I'm looking for shorts next week if we break 107.400. If we do break 107.400 on the 4-hour time frame, I'll be looking for shorts back down to this range, and at the very bottom of 106.987 or just 107 flat. So a nice 40 pip intraday trade could be on the table. On the other side, if we do get price, Friday and the rest of Sunday, if price does come here back to this blue zone and show us signs of bulls, the bullish hammer engulfing, we'll go long and probably target this upside 107.689. So we're looking about 30 to 40 pips either way, just because price action has been kind of squeezed in since the 19th of May. Price action has kind of slowed down. For example, you have 2 bearish candles, a bullish candle. You have 4 bearish candles, a bullish candle, bearish, bullish. So there's not really any separation in comparison to like a rally and then the short, a rally and then the shorts. Price action isn't as clean as it was in the start of the year, where you had clean, decisive moves, down move and up move, down move, up move, down move. So it's gonna be hard to catch the big moves. That's why I kind of shifted more funds to my intraday account, because that's the markets are giving. Pound dollar. So pound dollar, we had a setup for this. Now I'm not sure who took this, but hopefully someone took this. Now I'm gonna be honest, I didn't take this, so I don't include any pips that I don't make in the pip count. But this was a setup we discussed during the midweek pound dollar short. Now we're gonna study the 4-hour candle, right? If you look at this 4-hour candle, it's an inverted hammer, the one we want. And if I go to my chart work, this may have been from earlier in the week. Okay, but thank God I didn't send this. This is more of a potential setup. Now I don't know why, because pound GDP was coming out, and that's why they want to send it. I'd give it up to my own personal preference and call the trade. But anyways, this trade did play out. You can see the 4-hour inverted hammer right here. Again, long way to the top, short at bottom. We go down. Pound loves his hammers, so when it prints a hammer, it usually retraces a bit. So you do go into some drawdown, but then eventually, after rejecting this level, this thing sold off pretty nicely. So this strategy, once you master it, you can trade without my guidance. That's the whole point of this, right? So for example, I was gonna use this. I was gonna call this trade, but I remember seeing this bearish 4-hour hammer, and I'm like, okay, never mind. I don't want to call it. And so we did go into some drawdown, and then this thing went down. But if you followed my strategy and just the lessons that I teach, you would have probably entered this trade anyways. Spend a day and a half in drawdown, and then would have made a nice chunk of pips. So that's the whole point of this Forex trading room, a nice 55 pip game, is to really get people to start trading on their own. Obviously trades, but sooner rather than later, we want you guys to be up on your feet. Now I'm gonna remove this idea based on just the I'll put it back. Based on the target we have down here, that's what I think is where it's gonna go to. This current candle is a bit conflicted. The pound can be very volatile, and that's why when I saw this hammer, it kind of rang alarm bells in my head. So I didn't go short, but you can see this candle went all the way up here, squeezed back down. So it's a bit of a weird candle, to say the least, especially since we had no dollar news this morning. It was actually a pretty uneventful morning. That's all this morning had. Pretty quiet, but for some reason it's this thing jumped the whole week. For some reason this candle did what it wanted to do, so I'd say it'd be best to wait for Sunday. But we bring out a horizontal ray, and where price has kind of stalled, you can see in the past we've had a rally from here, right? Last time we had a sell-off from this broken support. We had a rally once we came to this level. We popped straight back up, rejected this support again, and then we went lower. Now this time around, after we rejected this support, we came down and we stalled at this level. So for some reason, this level, this 1.21700 area, is giving support for pound. And so I think it would be best if we wait for Monday, New York session, for this to print a bearish candle below, and we'll take the short to our final target of 1.21100, and that's about 50 pips away, right? A nice intraday setup. Otherwise, if on Sunday this thing consolidates, and on Monday morning we have like a bullish hammer print, now we'll just take the trade from here all the way up to here. We've seen it happen here. We've seen it happen here, so we could get another 40 to 50 pips to the upside. So it's at a key level. I think a lot of the pairs are at key levels right now, so it's important to secure your profits and just reevaluate on Monday. But we have two scenarios. I think the short is more likely based on the creation of lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And so I do think now that we've made this new lower high right here, this one, so we made a new lower low, lower high. I do think it's time to make a new low somewhere down here. Ideally, at this target we've had in mind at the start of the week. So that's pound dollar. Still bullish on the USD, that's for sure. Where did it go? EU, perfect, pound, yen, and oil. Pound, yen. Okay, so here's a discipline thing I was talking about. So we had a setup for this week. You can see the date was 21st, so that was actually yesterday. I told the members I'm thinking short, right? You can see this arrows up here is because if we do close bullish above, we can go short or we can go long, but the bias was originally just short. Now I told members that we do need to break this 4-hour support, this previous low, right? We did a low high, a lower low, and a lower high right here. So we do have to clear this low before we enter short. Now you can see the 4-hour candle, although it's a big body, you need to read the wicks. That's what we do in our Forex trading room. You can see the wick to the top is shorter than the wick to the bottom. And for us, this is not a bearish candle. Although it is blue, and on my chart blue means down, this is more of a bullish candle than bearish. So we don't enter on these candles. What we do when we see these candles is wait for the next candle to confirm our strategy. And the next one was more of a similar, bearish hammer. You have a longer one to the bottom than the top, slash a, indecision candle. And the one after that was also a bearish hammer. And then we had this huge spike up. And so although, your members or you might think that, hey, we missed out on 50 pips. To me, I don't see it that way. To me, usually the strategy, and not usually, I think like 85% of the time, when you follow and when you enter on the wrong candlesticks, you're going to get burned immediately. There may be occurrences where it would have got you some profits, but that's discipline. So discipline will save you around 9 times out of 10. At one time, you may quote unquote miss out on the trade, but the Forex market is not going anywhere. It's going to be there next week and next week. So there's no FOMO. There shouldn't be any FOMO. It's not a discount sale. It's not buy one get one free. It's going to be here. It's been here for decades on decades, and it's going to remain here. And if it gets eradicated by crypto, at least we'll have the crypto market to trade. So just be disciplined. So GJ, it has a similar weird move as GU this morning. I don't know why this thing spiked up and now it spiked back down, but whatever the reason might be, it's probably fundamentally driven, especially since we had no major dollar or pound news. But I think we're just going to let this thing do what it's got to do. There is some indecision now. We've had a bearish hammer and then an inverted hammer. So obviously price is conflicted right now. But based on the price action, again with GU, you can see we're still in a downtrend. And so the downtrend is what I'm favoring. And again, the correlations are crazy with these pairs. But I remove this old idea. You can see, where did our short stall? Our short stalled in and around this area, this 130.655 area. If you look to the left, it was a previous swing low before you rock it off, and there was a previous support, right? When we shorted, it was a support here, we consolidated, and we finally went lower. So based on the same thinking as GU, come Monday, we'll be looking for, either a bearish closure below here, and we're going to take it back down all the way to either this low or even this low if GJ can be so nice. So either 130 pips or around 70. I'm fine with either or. Otherwise, if GJ consolidates here over the weekend, right, Friday and then Saturday and then on Sunday, we see like a bullish hammer or a bullish engulfing. Now we'll take the long, right? We'll take the long, targeting at least this high first, 131.266. Because if you look to the left, the last time we came from the support, we came up to this high and then we continued short down. And you can see earlier this day, we had one rejection from this level already and another one. So for some reason, this level is important for long. So if we go long, we'll target this level first, 131.260, and then this one afterwards. So we have around equal pips on both sides, around 130 potential here and 130 potential here. But we'll see on Monday. So obviously right now the price action is very messed up. Let me see what's happening on the 1 hour. See, the 1 hour actually looks good for shorts. Actually looks really good. So you can see we've come up, we retested that support we used, right? We used a support early in the week. We broke it, came up for that retest, and this is a nice rejection candle, inverted hammer. So I'm kind of leaning towards the shorts, but what could happen is now that we're at the 1 hour time frame, we have I think 6 hours left for the day, and then we have 24 on Sunday. So in 30 hours, a lot can happen. But I assume actually Sunday is around since it's at 5 p.m. I think we have around 18 hours. So in total, around 23 hours left in the markets, I guess, for this thing to play out. So I think within those 23, 24 hours, this thing will make its way back down here, and then we'll have our answer Monday morning of either we're going long or we're going short. But I favor the short based on this rejection, and the price action is obviously in a downtrend. So we like to trend, we like to trade with the trend and not against it. So GU and GJ could be very, very profitable next week. Thank you for those recommendations. Oil, again, this thing tested our discipline so much this week, but I'm happy and I'm proud that we stayed put. So if you look, we had two ideas, right? So 131, right? This is our support. 131 will go short. Now, this is the reason why I don't like using pending orders. I like to watch the price action because you can see this wick early, later in the day yesterday. This candle wicked all the way down here, obviously well below $31 per barrel. And if you use a pending order, you would have been entered into this trade, and you would have immediately hit some major drawdown, and might have even got stopped out. So that's why I don't like using pending orders. I'd rather you watch the price action. Now, if you look at this trade idea, 32.50, we go long, and this means is if we get a 4-hour bullish closure above 32.50, we're gonna go long. The only sad thing was we got it, but it went to our first target. So it went all the way to the first target. That's how volatile it was. And so we were thinking, okay, now that we've already reached our first target, we have another target in mind all the way up here, 39.40 cents per barrel, right? $39.40 per barrel. And so I was looking for a 4-hour bullish closure to go long. Now, if you look at these candles, right? Look at these candles. This candle is not a bullish candle. This is not indecision candle. This is not a bullish candle. This is a bearish hammer. That's good, but we want a bullish white candle, either a white hammer like this one, or just a big bodied candle with very little wicks. And we got none of that. So and price ended up coming back down into this zone we've kind of created, and it's just rebounding in between this box. So discipline pays, man. It's gonna save you a lot of headache. I mean, we spent around 80% of the week within this box, so we didn't miss any real moves on either end, to be honest. I mean, this might have been a 70 pip gain, but again, you gotta follow that strategy like it's an oath. You gotta follow it. So for oil, the same thing applies next week, since we are kind of rebounding from this bottom level, and we have printed a hammer here and a hammer here. There is some bullish momentum. So next week I will be looking for the same thing again. A 4-hour closure that's bullish above 33.40, and hopefully this time we get one and we can go all the way to 39.40. And we have a pretty good accuracy with US oil, I think around 90%, and one of the reasons is because it's really fundamentally based and it follows technical levels pretty well, and we're also pretty patient and disciplined with this commodity. So that's my bias along, but we do need to break 33.40 on the 4-hour time frame. EU. So if you look at the signal channel on Telegram and Discord, for YouTube members, I'm going to get to you right away. I just got to get everyone on Telegram. There's another incentive to get on Telegram. You'll be first in line. So yesterday at 1 a.m., right after the 4-hour closure, I was like, I would like to call a Euro USD short as well, but overtrading is a sin, and tomorrow is Friday. We'll get it next week. And if you look at Euro USD, this is the 4-hour candle I saw. And it was okay. I knew that because of NZD USD falling and USD CAD going up, that the dollar was really strong. So we were going to get some profits regardless. But I didn't call the trade because we were already in 3 trades from that very same day. You can see Euro USD didn't do much. Maybe dropped 15 pips after this 4-hour candle. It's pretty consolidated. So EU, going to next week, my trading idea or bias is the same. It's just the entry will change. We're going to be entering right below 1.08800. Right? You can see, looking to the left, the range we're trying to target, right? So you can see if I just kind of box this off, right? Keep it as simple as I can. This is a trading range, right? We have resistance up here, right? And resistance here. Price rejected for resistance here, came up and rebounded a few times, right? Price came up close in and around that resistance. We like to think of resistance and support as zones, so as price ranges, not a specific price point. And so once we saw this rejection, I'm like, okay, we have to go short, but we do need to break this minor for our support, right? And so we broke it, and we have trickled down to our first target zone, which is fine because we have around 60% of the range left to go, and we'll target that on Monday. So we have this half left to target, right? And so that's what we'll be doing on Monday, looking for that 4-hour bearish closure below 1.08800, and we'll go short. So instead of this, we'll have something like this. And again, the R2R will be fantastic as we're at a key area. So like this and like that, and now we have a 3.86 R2R setup, and it'll be only entered if the 4-hour candle is the 2 bearish candles we like. Otherwise, scrap the idea. Perfect. So I think I got everyone out of the way. Pound dollar euro CAD. Can we just get a few YouTube members? Show them attention they deserve. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Really helps us out. BTC. Okay, so I'll leave BTC at the end. Euro CAD. Pretty sure Euro CAD is flying to the upside. Oh, I'm not. So the CAD's pretty weak right now. Last time I checked, I think GBP CAD was going up to the upside. We wanted it along, but I'm thinking alongs for pound CAD, just based off the chart and based off support at 1.52715. That is 1.52715. It's on the 4-hour time frame. You can see we've had numerous rallies from there in recent times. But one from here, another here, and we use a support, a resistance here, a support here, support here, support here, support here, resistance multiple times here, and you can see we spent a lot of this week above that level. I do think it's time to pop back up, but the best way to get an entry is price action for EuroCAD is pretty squeezed, and you can see you have a bullish candle, 3 bearish candles, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. There's no really separation like you've seen in the past. For example, this is separation, right? A nice bull rally, a short rally, bull rally, right? Or just a nice short all the way down, a nice long. This is all squeezed in. So for us to really get that volatility and that volume when this thing moves, you have to identify resistance. So at 4-hour time frame, you can see there's some resistance in and around 1.53, 150, right? You can see you actually make it a bit better. Maybe just this is fine. 1.3170, right? 1.53170. Let me actually put a call out so you can see. So here we have our 4-hour support, right? This is the 4-hour support that's kind of held this thing down. And so for longs, we're just going to have to wait for a 4-hour break. And looking for targets, we're going to look to the left. All you have to do is look to the left. Last time we broke this resistance, right? We broke it here. Where did we kind of stall? We kind of stalled in and around this area right here. So I'm going to get my horizontal ray and identify that area. So right around this level. Now what's funny is if you look to the left, last time we broke the support, where did we stall? That same area, right? That same area. So again, price action is just beautiful. It's a work of art. So again, when we go long, we stalled here. When we go long, we stalled here. When we go long, we stalled here. So if we were to go long again, more likely than not, price will stall here. And I think even like these wicks right here, for example, these highs right here are a good place to take some profit as well. So that's the overall idea in mind for Euro CAD. Now shorts could be an option as well. We did short it actually last week. Trying to remember, I believe we took a short from here. Yes, we took a short from here, and from this resistance we went down here, and then this thing popped back up. Another sell-off happened, and then we finally broke this resistance. So for short, all we have to do is, if you look at the current price action, this level right here, let me put another call out so it's easier to see. Make Just a bigger font too. Maybe there you go. So 1.52700. Okay. So this was resistance turned into support, right? And you can see when it was turned into support, none of these 4-hour candles were able to close below. They all wicked, right? They all wicked below, but none of them actually closed. We never got an actual body down here or a body, body here, etc., etc. So that's what we wait for. If we get a nice bearish body down here, like inverted hammer, or just a bearish engulfing candle, then that'll be perfect for shorts to go down. But based on the current uptrend we're in, and that we did break up this consolidation zone, I'm looking for buys instead. And so I think Monday we should look for, on Monday or next week, we should look for a break of this 1.53170 level to go long. And we have around a target of 45 pips for the first target take profit, and then around 84 for the next. So that's my bias for EuroCAD. All right, cool, perfect. So we're approaching an hour, so I'm quickly going to do one last pair recommendation, probably be Bitcoin. Any other questions, send them on Discord and I'll get to you. So BTC, let's look at BTC. We haven't looked at it all week. Cool. So yeah, BTC, our target is still valid. We had a target of 8,500. That's where I'm sticking with. I had said this on May 16th, so last week, where I said if we do break this 4-hour support, we should go to 8,500. I believe it's also on our trading view, and you can see we haven't broke this 4-hour support, but 8,500 is still the target despite this minor retrace. This trend line, this weekly trend line, has been holding BTC down. You can see since the very high it made back in even in 2019 when it hit 13K, and then again you can see we're currently trying to reject it. And if we do get to 8,500, I'd be scared for BTC people, because this weekly candle, if it gets to 8,500, will be a very solid rejection candle, and you should see price go even lower. So that's my bias for BTC as well. One more pair recommendation, Aussie NZD, my guy Marco. Oh, lastly, Forex. Another one bites the dust. Is this that case? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, so Aussie NZD. Let me actually pull this chart up. Let's see. Yes, the 19th. What was the 19th? 19th was a Tuesday. So we needed a 4-hour bearish closure below 1.07400 to go short. Let's look at the price action. Where is 1.07400? It is this green line right here, 1.07427. And we had an inverted hammer closure right here, right, along with the top, then the bottom, and this thing went down to the first target, popped back up, went down to the second target, popped back up, and then finally went all the way down, almost to our final take profit. Now, I won't use this in the pip count, but it was a setup given, and if you did enter, you could have either made this 20 pips, or if you just stuck on, you could have made a nice chunk. But again, when you have the strategy perfected, you can call trades and enter trades that I don't call or that I don't personally enter. By all means, you have that luxury. So again, another example of that strategy just working out perfectly. Now looking at current price action, we have to look at the correlation. So Aussie NZD is very heavily affected by how Aussie dollar and NZD dollar are doing. So if we look at Aussie NZD right now, we can see Aussie NZD is gaining. What this tells you is the New Zealand dollar is weak. And we know that because we're shorting NZD USD, right? If we go to NZD USD, all week this thing's been selling off. And actually, that previous 4-hour candle was an absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. Look at this nice inverted hammer. This is more downside to come. Next week, we will take NZD USD again. I just don't like to trade full trades over the weekend during COVID-19, but a nice, beautiful inverted hammer. So we see NZD USD is weak. Now let's get the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is weak, but you can see the current 4-hour candle is bullish, right? And that's the reason why Aussie NZD is slipping. So based on just that quick little analysis, I'd say next week I'd probably look for an intraday long back up to these highs. I think that's where Aussie NZD wants to go to. This 107.427 level, and there's some pro we created this week. Right down here, you can see all these wicks have accumulated. We've popped back up to that 1.07400 level. We pop back down, pop up again, pop back down. So you can see once price closes above this 107.170 level, right? This 107.170. So 1.07170. If it closes bullish above on the 4-hour time frame, or even the 1 hour, 1 hour is fine. You should see this thing make its way back up to 1.07430, and that's my bias for Aussie NZD. So we're approaching an hour. I don't want to make this too boring, but any other questions, I'll be sure to answer them on Discord. Pound CHF, I'll give my opinion just because we looked at it before, so I won't have to draw anything. Pound CHF, this was a perfect short idea last week. I didn't even include in the pip count, but very, very nice trade right here. We just never got the entry because it was a Friday. Looking to the left, you can see one thing. You can see one thing right here. We've created resistance in around this level. So last week we had this short here, and then price came from this target to the pip, popped back up, went to this resistance area, sold off again, and then I'm thinking sells again, to be honest, because you can see each time the retraces are getting lower and lower. So this time it only went to this high instead of all the way up here. So I'm thinking if we do break 1.18250, we should go short for NZD USD. So it's my bias. And guys, we have a free session on Monday. So Monday we'll be looking at things again, and kind of getting an idea over what happened over the weekend. But so that's that. So anything else, the members, just ask me on Discord. If you guys are on YouTube and you enjoyed this session and you want to join it, we have a 50% off your first month discount. So this is a crazy discount that we're given, but we think it's right. It gets people the opportunity to try us out before they fully commit. So what this discount code will give you is full access to all our live sessions. So Monday through Friday, including all the trades I call, all my signals plus signals from 5 members, and full access to our Discord, which meaning you'll get access to Institute Trader. Actually, that'll be cut off very soon. Pipsology, Elliott Wave Analysis, price action from Genius Ben, all the signal providers, Ichimoku signals, and all my chart work. So after I do these live sessions, I send my chart work into, where did it go? This thing disappeared on right here. Minors and majors analysis, and that's where everything's kind of condensed into. And so if you're looking to join, it's very simple. All you have to do is forexlens.com. You go to Forex Trading Room, click Get Started. Fill out this form. When you click Next, it will say enter a coupon code, and this is the one you enter first 50. This is a 0, and it'll only be $48.50 for your first month for all that content and more. So take advantage. Hopefully I see new faces next Tuesday. Monday we do have a free live session in case you're on the fence. Make sure you like, subscribe, and join our Discord. The link to sign up is there. And if you have any questions about the Smart Effects MAM program or the trading challenge, make sure you email support@forexlens.com and they'll help you out. So guys, this is a great week we had. Let's keep it rolling. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Please be safe, and I'll see you on Monday.